Here are the leaders from Interfaith groups, World Yoga Community, Buddhist Council of New York, Tenri Mission, New York.
धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति 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 ॐ peace peace peace
Make the walls full of peace and harmony. Thank you.
I, Yoichi Fukui, Minister of Tenri Mission, New York Center, speak with reverence to those who passed away in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs. Today we remember and honor you and hope that we humankind have learned the tragic lessons of this man-made disaster. We all pray sincerely that God, the Parent, will accept our determination and guide us so that the mind of people will become clear one after another, and the world will be reconstructed into the joyous life in which all the people throughout the world will help one another and live in harmony as brothers and sisters.
Thank you, leaders, for interfaith prayers. Next I'd like to welcome my friend and very, very talented pianist, Taka Kigawa. He will play György Ligeti's Etudes for piano, and then he will play Liebesträume by Franz Liszt with dancer Nahoko Sugiyama.
I just like to make a note about György Ligeti. He's a well-known late 20th century composer. He was the one composer who dreamed of eternal peace because he had a very difficult life because of a Hungarian Revolution in the World War II. He was born in a Jewish family, so his life is in exile all the time. So his music is very emotional, sometimes violent. So sometimes it's hard to hear, sometimes it's easy. So today I will play two pieces. One is very probably violent and followed by very quiet, very serene music. Then after that, very wonderful dancer, Nahoko-san joins me to show her talent, share her talent with everyone. Thank you so much.
enjoy Wahensho concert. Wahensho is a musical instrument, and that is Wahensho. It's a Japanese Carillon dance by Yukine, accompanied by dancer Maki Matsunaga. Here are some notes about the pieces from Yukine. The Song of the Full Sky is requiem for the Great East Japan earthquake. On an autumn night in the year of the disaster, on my return journey after the memorial concert, I was led down to a small village by the sea in Fukushima, where a majority of the houses had been washed away. The sky was full of stars and filled with the sound of waves. The twinkling of the stars was like the whispers of those who died on that day. I forgot to wipe away my overflowing tears and gave a prayer. This is a poem and song I wrote at the time. Sound, sound, sound in the fullness of the sky. Life, life, life. The second piece is Prayer for Fire, No More Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In fire, I cast my image of the cities burning by the atomic bombs and all the tragedies of wars. I pray that Nagasaki will be the last city to be the victim of the atomic bombs. The third piece is Peace Bells in Our Hearts. Since war is born in the hearts of men, we must build a peace temple in the hearts of men, human beings. This is the preamble of the UNESCO Charter. We hope for a peaceful planet where the bells of peace always ring in people's hearts. Thank you. Next, please enjoy watching a video message from super popular singer-songwriter and peace activist Shinji Harada. And the performance, Hiroshima, The Place to Start, was performed just before the Hiroshima G7 summit back in May.
At a time when the world should unite and help each other after overcoming the COVID pandemic, the Russian military, led by President Putin, a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, began to act violently. Thousands of Ukrainians in peace and even their children were suddenly slaughtered. The Russian soldiers who were commanded to invade and the Ukrainian soldiers who were defended against them also fell victim one after another. Dear Russian President Putin, also people who are still in favor of him. Furthermore, all the parties and the groups that are in conflict this current moment, please listen. Please accept the message of peace from here in Hiroshima, who have experienced the pain of hell. Wouldn't you prefer to raise the standard of humankind with true kindness, where you can understand each other, live in peace without killing or violence? We must do so immediately. Musicians and major religious leaders from all over the world have such a strong desire and will send their strong energy for building world peace from here in Hiroshima to the world. Russian Orthodox Christian members, please also listen. Please realize once again that all religions pray for peace and do not approve of murder. Please, everyone, listen to this message. Feel it and act. Now is the time to open the door to building true world peace. Unite and help each other after overcoming the COVID pandemic. The Russian military, led by President Putin, a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, began to act violently. Thousands of Ukrainians in peace and even their children were suddenly slaughtered. The Russian soldiers who were commanded to invade and the Ukrainian soldiers who were defended against them also fell victim one after another. Dear Russian President Putin, also people who are still in favor of him. Furthermore, all the parties and the groups that are in conflict this current moment, please listen. Please accept the message of peace from here in Hiroshima, who have experienced the pain of hell. Wouldn't you prefer to raise the standard of humankind with true kindness, where you can understand each other, live in peace without killing or violence? We must do so immediately. Musicians and major religious leaders from all over the world have such a strong desire and will send their strong energy for building world peace from here in Hiroshima to the world. Russian Orthodox Christian members, please also listen. Please realize once again that all religions pray for peace and do not approve of murder. Please, everyone, listen to this message. Feel it and act. Now is the time to open the door to building true world peace. Hiroshima is the place to start. Hiroshima is the place to start. One, two, three, come on. Hiroshima is the place to start. Yes, I want you to go there. Come on. Hiroshima is the place to start. All right. Okay, go. 1, 2, 3. Hiroshima is the place to start. Oh. Vincent Pegolatin, I should be the wall. So I told you, give me what? Hey, why don't smash it slow? Can't you get it? So, 世界中のレベルがこの人の Hiroshima is the place to start. Aishika and Gangei. Hiroshima is the place to start. Hey, wana Sugiyama. Tomorrow, make wish for a dream come true. That's the time you free from sorrow. Find out to pray as peace surrounding you. Now, everybody in the world is wishing for this peaceful moment to be given birth. Yeah, come on. Hiroshima is the place to start. Heaven and hell are destination. Hiroshima is the place to start. When peace rules the land of every ocean. Everybody, Hiroshima is the place to start. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, come on. Hiroshima is the place to start. Whoa. Hiroshima is the place to start. Heaven and hell, I trust in nation. One more. Hiroshima is the place to start. When peace rules the land of every ocean. Run star from Hiroshima. And Nagasaki. Where in the world? Anywhere in the world? Oh, Hiroshima. Thank you.
Thank you. High school peace ambassadors from Nagasaki sent us a video titled Peace Book Relay, and this is the first showing of with the English subtitles, edited by Reverend Nagasaki and his wife Heather. Thank you. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Nobuyuki Kimoto. He is the president of Nagasaki Prefecture Association of New York City. Mr. Kimoto.
So this is Nobuyoshi Kimoto, and today I speak on behalf of Mayor of Nagasaki City. I received the message for this event. Mayor message. On behalf of the citizens of Nagasaki, I would like to extend a message to the 30th annual Interfaith Peace Gathering to commemorate the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombings. I would like to express my sincerest respect to the host of this event, the Haver Peace and Reconciliation Foundation of New York, for holding a memorial for the victims of atomic bombings in conjunction with the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Day and the Nagasaki Peace Day, and for continuing initiatives for creating a peaceful world over these many years. At 11:02 a.m. on August 9, 1945, Nagasaki was devastated in an instant by a single atomic bomb. More than 150,000 people were killed or wounded. 78 years has passed, but the hibakusha, those who narrowly survived the atomic bombings, are still suffering from mental and physical scars that will never heal. Despite this, they continue to give us their first-hand testimonies and advocate for a world free of nuclear weapons to ensure that no one else in the world will ever go through the same suffering. Looking at the world today, the international state of affairs concerning nuclear weapons is becoming more chaotic, with ever-increasing risk that nuclear weapons will be used with Russia's prolonged invasion of Ukraine. The only thing capable of protecting humanity and the planet from the threat of nuclear weapons is the abolition of nuclear weapons. And to that end, we must ensure that the proverbial torch of peace is passed interminably from the hibakusha, and those who have experienced war or onto the next generation. More of us must also come together and make our voice heard from prevent war, which leads to the extent of nuclear weapons and their use. I hear that there will be music and dances that express various religious groups' wishes and prayers for peace during this event. I sincerely hope that this event will serve as a catalyst for many people to think about what they can do for peace and take action. In closing, I pray for the continued good health and success of the host of the event and those attending. Suzuki Shiro, Mayor of Nagasaki. As the president of the Nagasaki Prefecture Association of New York and a second generation A-bomb survivor, I'd like to say a few words. My father was born in Nagasaki and was exposed to the atomic bomb when he was 12 years old. The day was a school day, and he was at the side of the school building feeding the rabbits. He vividly remembers seeing a flash of light from the atomic bomb. And within 5 or 6 seconds, all the windows of the school buildings were blown out. After that, there was speculation that the American soldiers would come and kill everyone, and everybody evacuated to shelters. About a week to 10 days later, countless injured people and dead bodies were laid out on the school grounds that were being used as a makeshift hospital. Many of the injured died while waiting for their families to come and pick them up. And the abandoned bodies emitted a strange smell that is hard to describe. My father said that before he passed away, he never forgot that smell for a moment. Since there was no other way to dispose of the corpses, the local citizens joined forces to dig a big hole at the foot of the mountain, far from the residential area, and buried a large number of unclaimed bodies there, making it a no-go zone. My father told me about his real-life experiences, and I was able to understand the tragedy of war and the fact that it is unforgivable for a human being to be at war. Furthermore, I learned that the use of the atomic bombs left scars on the Hibakusha that will never disappear. With my father's words in my heart, as a second generation Hibakusha, I would like to pass on my father's tragic experience and continue to say that nuclear war should never happen. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kimoto. The video we're showing on the stage is a streaming video from the 78th Nagasaki Peace Ceremony. It's supposed to be done in Nagasaki Peace Park with thousands of people every year, but due to the Typhoon Carillon number 6, the ceremony at the park was cancelled. So they're doing this inside City Hall. Next is the dedication song for Peace Bell, performed by Reverend T. Kenjitsu Nakagaki, and Lulla LayLa as tambour player and singer. And it's followed by a moment of silence at 10:02 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 11:02 a.m. in Nagasaki, in Japan time, when an atomic bomb was dropped in Nagasaki on August 9th, 1945. So we're going to have our moment of silence at 10:02 p.m. here.
Peace is the most precious. No violence is essential. 和をもって尊しとなし、逆らうことなきをもって胸とす。ナモアミダブ、ナモアミダブ、ナモアミダブ、ナモアミダブ。
黙祷を終わります。
Thank you. You may be seated.
Please be seated.
Nagasaki.
There is a peace declaration. Suddenly, a rainbow-like flash of light burst from behind me. A blast of wind knocked me over, slamming me into the road. Touching my back, my clothes were gone, and my skin was blistered and slimy, sticking to my fingers. I was in hospital for 3 years and 7 months, hovering between life and death, and 1 year and 9 months of my stay I spent lying on my stomach, my back covered with severe burns. My chest was covered in bed sores, the flesh rotten to the bone. Even now, my chest appears gouged so deeply you can see my heart beating through my ribs. This is the experience of Taniguchi Soniteru, who sustained crimson red burns all over his back in the atomic bombing at the age of 16. The atomic bomb that exploded over Nagasaki at 11:02 on the morning of August 9, 1945, stole the lives of 74,000 people by the end of the year. The hibakusha who survived developed leukemia, cancer, and other diseases years and decades after the bombing, battle with suffering and anxiety due to the effects of radiation even now. Mr. Taniguchi passed away 6 years ago. But before his death, he left a message that seems to foresee the world today. People appear to be gradually forgetting the suffering of the past. This forgetfulness terrifies me. I fear that forgetfulness will lead to the acceptance of further atomic bombings. As the invasion of Ukraine drags on, Russia continues to threaten a use of nuclear weapons. Other nuclear states are accelerating moves to strengthen their dependence on nuclear weapons or enhance their nuclear capabilities, further increasing the risk of nuclear war. What must we do right now? We have to go back to the very beginning to look again at what happened to human beings underneath the mushroom cloud 78 years ago, and address the fundamental question of what would happen to the Earth and humankind if a nuclear war were to begin right now. At the G7 Hiroshima summit held in May this year, the leaders of all the participating countries visited the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum and met with the hibakushas, showing the world through their own actions the importance of knowing the reality of the atomic bombings. Furthermore, the G7 leaders' Hiroshima vision on nuclear disarmament, one of the summit's outcome documents, reaffirmed that a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. However, the Hiroshima vision is predicated on nuclear deterrence, nations maintaining their safety by possessing nuclear weapons. Russia is not the only state representing the risk of nuclear deterrence. As long as states are dependent on nuclear deterrence, we cannot realize a world without nuclear weapons. Eliminating nuclear weapons from the face of the earth is the only way to truly protect our safety. I hereby appeal to the leaders of nuclear states and countries under the nuclear umbrella. Now is the time to show courage and make a decision to break free from dependence on nuclear deterrence. I ask that you move steadily along the path to abolishing nuclear weapons through dialogue, not confrontation, based on a concept of security centered on humanity. I hereby appeal to the government of Japan and members of the National Diet. The world is watching the actions of the only country to experience wartime atomic bombings. In order to clearly show Japan's resolve to abolish nuclear weapons, please participate in the second meeting of state parties to the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW, as an observer, and sign and ratify the treaty as quickly as possible. I also ask that, in addition to firmly maintaining the principle of peace stated in the Japanese Constitution, you engage in diplomatic efforts aimed at disarmament and alleviation of tensions in the region, such as denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula and the Northeast Asia Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone Initiative. I ask that everyone in the world stops for a moment and thinks. Despite the pain caused by recalling their atomic bombing experiences, the Hibakusha have continuously called on the world to recognize the inhumanity of nuclear weapons by recounting their personal ordeals. Surely, it is their testimonies that have been a deterrent force preventing the use of nuclear weapons during the past 78 years. This year, the average age of Hibakusha exceeded 85 years. As we near a time when there are no longer any Hibakusha living, whether we are able to maintain this genuine deterrent force and whether we are able to abolish nuclear weapons are dependent on the actions of each and every individual. Please visit the atomic bombing sites. See with your own eyes and sense the consequences of nuclear weapons. Please listen to the testimonies of Hibakusha, a common inheritance of humankind that must continue to be talked about throughout the world. Knowing the reality of the atomic bombings is the starting point for achieving a world without nuclear weapons, and could also be the driving force for changing the world. I am a second generation Hibakusha. My parents are both Hibakusha. To ensure that Nagasaki is the last place to suffer an atomic bombing, the next generation of Hibakusha, including me, will firmly carry on the Hibakusha's mission, passing the baton of peace on to future generations. I strongly call on the government of Japan to further enhance support for the Hibakusha, as well as provide relief for those who have experienced an atomic bombing as quickly as possible. In addition to expressing my deepest condolences to those whose lives were taken by the atomic bombs, I declare here that Nagasaki will continue to strive to disseminate a culture of peace throughout the world, as well as realize the abolition of nuclear weapons and permanent world peace, working with not only Hiroshima, Okinawa, and Fukushima, which sustained radiation damage, but all people who desire peace. Suzuki Shiro, Mayor of Nagasaki, August 9th, 2023.
Lastly, we would like to welcome James Lynch, Vice President of AWA, Peace and Reconciliation Foundation. And before this, I'd like to thank you all for taking your busy time with us tonight. Thank you very much. For your convenience, you can donate to AWA Foundation from the QR code here on your program pamphlet. No charge will be, no fee will be charged, and your donation is tax deductible in the US as well. Also, if you have time tomorrow, they will have another event tomorrow at 10 p.m. at Church Center for the United Nations, across the headquarters of the United Nations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. She said so much of what I was going to say. On behalf of the AWA Peace and Reconciliation Foundation, I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. I don't know if everybody realizes that Venerable Nakagaki has put everything he has into making this organization a think tank for peace. You know, there are a lot of think tanks for war, but how many people have heard of a think tank for peace? And Venerable Nakagaki has been trying to create peace one person at a time. Every encounter is important. And so even though there's a few of us here, I wanted to just thank him and thank you for your precious time. And we also want to, as an organization, express a deep gratitude for obviously your support. So even, of course, we need the money, but we need you. We need you to spread the word that we can be victorious in bringing peace. And so we've had St. Mark's Church. We want to thank them for hosting the peace event, August the 5th. Of course, we want to thank the Japan Society for allowing us to use this magnificent space this evening to share something remarkable. I've gone to a couple of these, but I'm a little more subdued today. I think the play was amazing. I think when you hear people, the mayor sang from Nagasaki, about the man and the injuries that he had, that's why I'm in my mind, you know. That's not a movie. And so we're here together. And so I want to thank also the Church Center for the United Nations. I want to thank Yamaguchi Kyojo Inc. for donating a peace bell. Doesn't it sound beautiful? I also want to thank my own organization, Rishoko Sakai Buddhist Center of New York, and Reverend Takayama, who's here this evening, for letting us use the space for the practice and rehearsal of the theatrical play. I also want to thank Origami Therapy Association, Tokyo Visual Archives, Mr. Takai Anando for being a sound and lighting director for the event this evening. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to say thank you for sticking in here to the very end. But in a lot of ways, this is the beginning. If we take the determination that we have tonight to bring peace to each other, if we can save just one life, stop one war, it'll be worth it. Thank you so much, and please be well.
Thank you, James. Thank you, James. This is TK Nakagaki. And so this is the bell. Maybe you can see better. And but also, when you open the program, there is the page of little explanation of this bell. And so, and then
And the character, it says, is actually something very important for me. So I just wanted to conclude today with the ringing this bell, but at the same time, this part of the words is something I want you to remember this time. So actually, I'm not going to talk long, so you can read it right next to my peace message. But basically talking about this meaning, why I choose this particular one. And this is one of the phrases actually used in Japan 1400 years ago, started by Prince Shotoku. And so that's why sometimes Japanese people feel like this is a peace, country of peace, country of Yamato, or great peace. So this particular words, it says 4 words. First one is wa. This one you hear a lot, peace, harmony, and the ki, meaning value or precious. Peace is precious. And also, next 2 words is the third word is mu, which is not or none. And then last word is a violence, or actually the original meaning is having a weapon in your mind. So no weapons in your mind means no violence, basically, no hurting, no conflict. Because sometimes people create peace by also violence too. So sometimes, try to if to make something peaceful. Oh, I don't need these people, I don't need that people. So all those people, then we'll be very peaceful. Is that really? I'm not sure. But then it's always create all the enemies and so forth. So one thing is no violence. In Japanese words, is one side is the mind, the other side is the ox, A-X-E, and so that's the weapons, no weapon basically. So I hope I'm going to ring that 3 times for this spell. So this one, peace without violence in your mind, and peace without violence in your speech, and peace without violence in your actions. So maybe with that, I would like to ring 3 times, so if you can meditate or pray together. So that will be the end for today. So I thank you very much for joining us today. And then also lastly, patience is also very important. You are one, I think all of you are very patient, because otherwise you won't be here. How many, is it, your neighbors are still here? Most of them are gone. but I think the peace, in order to create the peace, we need the patience too. So it's a game of patient peace. Because it's always together with a war, many violence, so many things. How can it be peaceful, but yet keep it peace? So then that become a very rewarded life that you can receive by keeping the peace as a center, keeping the truth as a center. So. You can still hear the bell. It's a wonderful bell. This bell is donated by Yamaguchi Kyujo-san. That's a company in the Toyama prefecture. Actually, the Japanese bells, 90% of the Japanese bells, this kind of bells are made in Toyama, actually. And so they, this Yamaguchi Kyujo-san kindly donated us for the 30th anniversary for today. Thank you for the gift, and so that's become your gift
today too. So I hope you can share more gift of peace to other people. Thank you, and may all be happy and peaceful. May all be free from suffering and sorrow and birth and death. May we all attain ultimate happiness and peace and enlightenment through the guidance of wisdom, with its wisdom and compassion. Peace to you all. And also very lastly, but I have to really thank, I don't know, she may be gone by then, but Keiko-san, Keiko Tsuyama-san, she did a very wonderful job. I thought she probably stayed, but she was really gone. But anyway, so without her, she did pretty well for everything to manage this time today. So I really appreciate her taking this part. And she has been very, very strong for peace, and so I really appreciate such person like her. Thank you, and have a good night and safe back home.